Hello, this week on 5 Brilliant Things we have the fantastic Ben Shephard, and the show went a little bit like this. Were you ever in TV at the sort of the tail end of like smoking on air?
No, I'm not
Which is
that
a really
old.
polite way of
I
saying
am
how
really
old are you?
Basil, I'm really old. Why don't
presumably-
you try this on? It's going to change your life.
Oh, it is nice actually, and it smells good. I'm living many a housewife's fantasy here.
But the relationship that Europeans have with alcohol is so different to ours.
The stereotype is that they start drinking at 13 with the family and just a little bit of wine. British mums and dads aren't sharing their wine with their kids because they need it.
A bar/restaurant and recording is like something from the 70s.
Yeah, it definitely has a sort of a Mad Men vibe.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Does that? I mean, it's sort. I've never been this cool.
Did you, were you ever in TV at the sort of the tail end of like smoking on air?
No, I'm not
Which is
that
a really
old.
polite way of
I
saying
am
how
really
old are you?
Basil, I'm really old.
But I remember watching, did you watch Mad Men?
Yes, of course. Yeah.
So I remember watching that thinking, oh, there would be a really good sitcom about the world of TV in England, in kind of like, you know, the sort of 60s, 70s, that kind of that old, like there was an old director we used to have that would always have a glass of wine. You know,
While he was directing.
whilst he was directing, that was his thing, and you know, you just could not let him have his
Yeah.
wine. And to a young person, I just remember finding that so odd.
There was the editor of GMTV was this bit of a legend called Peter McHugh, who famously was shown my show reel. I did a show. Well, my first show in telly was not my first show, but one of my first shows in telly on the breakfast side of telly on ITV was a show called Entertainment Today that I did with Jenny Faulkner. And at the time, I'd launched T4 and I'd done a few sort of teen, youthy type things. And the producer of the show showed the editor my show reel, and he was a really gruff Geordie, and he was like, "No, he's rubbish. Get rid of him." And then so she phoned me up and she said, "Have you got a suit?" And I said, "Yeah, I've got a suit." She said, "Right, put your suit on. Come, we're going to kind of film at a gallery opening." And we went down and did like a showbiz opening to the gallery, and interviewing a few people going in and out and all that sort of stuff, what was going on. So it was a bit of a party scene type vibe. She goes in that night, edits it overnight, takes it into this guy, Peter McHugh. I said, "What about this guy?" And he went, "He's perfect. Give him the job." And so this guy was one of those people, and he used to hold his hands up in that, you know, it's a really important thing that you don't judge a book by its cover, Russell. But at the old London studios on Upper Ground, which is, I walked past the other day, it's been completely knocked down, that housed so many people and so many shows for so many years. Even when the entire building went smoke-free, he was allowed to smoke in his office.
Is that right?
For years. It was one of those things that no one talked about, no one complained about, but Peter McHugh, the editor of GMTV, was allowed to smoke in his office.
It's so wild, isn't it? If like I was in Japan not so long ago, and they still sort of smoke in bars, and you forget that was.
Oh, it's strange, that, isn't
It's
it?
so strange and
Yeah.
so disgusting, and it's everywhere.
Yes.
But you forget that was our
Yeah.
childhood. You'd
That's how
come
we
home
grew
from the
up.
pub, and you didn't think you smelled, and the next day you'd have a whiff of your clothes.
And you'd only put your clothes on for a couple of hours.
Yeah, crazy.
He famously used to go. Did you ever do any filming at LWT on Upper Ground in the
No,
end?
no.
Where This Morning used to be and
Right.
ITV always was. And then on Upper Ground, just over the road, there's a pub called the Mulberry Bush. And famously, he used to get a car from LWT to the Mulberry Bush, which is literally 15 yards.
Yeah.
And then the car would wait and then take him home.
What a job.
I mean, he was quite the character.
Yeah. What is your first brilliant thing?
My first brilliant thing is drinks with bubbles in.
Okay. Lovely.
Doesn't have to be alcoholic, although there's benefit to that as well. And it doesn't have to be sophisticated. I just love drinking bubbles.
What are we talking? Are you a Diet Coke man? Are you a Fanta guy?
Diet Coke now,
Yeah.
which is a thing with age. But as a kid, it may have come from the fact that I wasn't really allowed fizzy drinks as a kid.
Yeah, I think so. I was the same, that we'd have fizzy drinks at Christmas. So it meant that when you were lucky to get hold of, I remember at Christmas, we had to have this small cupboard round the back that I would open up this small cupboard, like this pantry, and look at the Christmas fizzy drinks and just think, me and you were having a fucking date with
Come on,
destiny.
Christmas.
Yeah.
You don't know what's going to hit
But it
you.
was so exciting.
Oh,
yeah,
it
it's
made
funny.
no sense to me growing up that adults weren't drinking drinks with bubbles in all the time.
Yeah.
I'm like, I have to put up with water or squash, and I really couldn't bear squash. I was like, I don't know what it was, but orange squash was not my thing at all. And there was all this amazingly exciting drama to be had with a bubble on your tongue, and they were putting up with tea and coffee,
Yeah.
or bland flat drinks. So the advent of making those choices myself. We also had, I think it might come back. We had a Soda Stream as well.
Yeah, well, that's your sort of your working class window into the excitement of fizzy drinks.
Now, but here's the thing about our Soda Stream: we never had gas canisters for it.
Yeah, that's
'Cause
it.
so
That's it. You're like the first sort of 2 weeks, it's great, and then it's just rancid.
and all you're trying to do is squeeze out the last fart of a bubble into,
yeah.
and then you and I used to, like, I've got a really awful sweet tooth, or really strong sweet tooth, good sweet tooth, I'm not sure we call it. I used to drink the concentrate you'd have from the
God.
because it was it was so sugary and delicious.
Yeah.
And I'd drink that, and I'd imagine that the Soda Stream had worked, and I had the bubbles in there as well, just to try and create the effect and the feeling, the sophistication, the drama. I think there's something dramatic about things on your tongue fizzing that I still love to this day.
Do you like sherbet dipped down?
Love a sherbet dib down.
Yep.
Space dust.
Yes.
I mean, they call it popping candy now, the kids. But you take me back to some space dust, or a wham bar, and those little chunks of something that you get on your tongue, and it's a bit sour and a bit fizzy.
Yep.
And it just gives you something else. I am, to this day now, I am very happy. Like, I really love a drink. I love a beer. I love watching a beer on a hot day. It crystallizes out the condensation on the outside and the bubbles through the middle. No, I'm going to drink it. That beer can be non-alcoholic beer, and I still get the same feeling. I'm very happy drinking sparkling water. If I start on sparkling water, I can drink it all night. I'm quite greedy with liquid. I like a lot of it, whatever is in the glass, but just put some bubbles in, and I just let those things party on my tongue and disappear into some fantasy of joy.
It is funny though, isn't it? It's I don't know what it is, and particularly when you see sort of a European pint glass, I often think a beer in the sun, like in one of those, like you sort of typically your Stella Artois.
Yes.
Stuff. It just looks like the most desirable drink in the world.
Have you been seduced by Peretti yet? So let me introduce you to the idea of Peretti, which is a marketing man's absolute dream.
Okay.
So Peretti essentially sounds like Moretti.
Yeah.
It sounds and looks like it should be Italian. I'm pretty sure it's not. I'm pretty sure it's brewed somewhere in the north of the UK. And they have just marketed it in this absolutely gorgeous, rounded glass. You tend to get it. I've come across it most at one of my other things, which is golf clubs. And coming off a golf course and seeing someone with a sort of a very elegant, slightly absurd drinking vessel that has been designed to make the liquid inside look even more delicious. And that's what Peretti has done. I think it's relatively new. I'm not 100% sure how long it's been around, but you get the drinking vessel right.
It's the ceremony of it.
The ceremony, you're absolutely right. And
Brewed in Wolverhampton.
There you
Is
go.
that right?
Wolverhampton, from the Midlands.
Peretti, there you go.
Peretti.
Absolutely good, Dad.
But absolute, the marketing of it, they've made it look like it's a Southern European drink that's been designed somewhere in the Italian rolling hills in Italy, and it's been brought to us to make us feel sophisticated and stylish.
Do you think
elegant?
in Italy they're like serving like a pint of bastard, but does it go the other way? That do
Well, they aspire to.
or do they aspire
tenants,
to let
super.
tenants, or like a fireplace and it's cold outside and the drink?
Because they don't have it.
Is it that we're in search of the other? That do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it could be.
I don't know.
It could be. Yeah, no.
But why is it? There's something about that European glass to us.
Yeah.
To a Brit, a European glass in the sun, the condensation on the outside, you're like, oh God.
It's so seductive, isn't it?
But I think our British mentality is, I'll have 7 of them.
Oh.
Whereas they're like, that'd be nice with my dinner.
Yeah,
Whereas
yeah,
we're
yeah.
gonna, I'll tell you what, I'm going to get absolutely walloped on that. It's so funny, isn't it?
Brilliantly, a friend of mine told me an amazing story. A friend from university who joined the army, and he went out to. He was put on secondment from the army to the Italians.
What's secondment?
So he went for a certain period of time to the Italians' army, to a battalion of Italian soldiers, while he was out in the second Gulf War, I think it was.
And what is that like? Sort of like learning off them.
Yeah, essentially you go and work with them for however long it is.
Right. Cool.
A period of time while you're out there, you give them some of your sort of background, they give you a lot of their background. And he couldn't get over the fact that they were allowed wine at lunch.
Of course.
And they were there, but more, they had drinks fridges in the mess that didn't have locks on.
Yeah.
So they could go and help themselves to a little glass of wine or a small beer, and that would be enough. Now, he was a Welshman. And played number 8 at university in the rugby team, and never turned down the opportunity to drink.
Yeah.
And that's that sophistication, that relationship that they have with alcohol. We get into different territory, but the relationship that Europeans have with alcohol is so different to ours.
Well, that they broadly spit that. I mean, the stereotype is that they start drinking at 13 with the family and just a little bit of wine, but British mums and dads aren't sharing their wine with their kids because they need it. Do you know what I mean? But there isn't that sort of sense of like, you can have a little bit.
Is it climate? Do you think it's the climate? Because I think sometimes if I'm in Europe or with the family, you'll sit down and have a drink, and they have just lovely long lunches. They graze over these things. They're never in a rush. Whereas over here, it's freezing cold. The bar's going to close at 11 o'clock. You've got to make sure you've done your drinking before the last orders comes in.
But it's get it down.
We've got into much more of a hurry about it.
Yeah, I can't imagine Italian. There is an Italian phrase for down it. Like, do you know what I mean? Neck it, skull it. But we have so many phrases for,
yeah.
come on, let's get it done.
Yeah.
The pre-lash.
Yeah.
Extraordinary.
It was the 1980s when they stopped serving beer in Belgian schools.
What? See that?
And there's actually a movement at the moment to bring it back because it's so much better for the children than the soft drinks.
So it was in the 1980s, but here's what's really fascinating if you're into football as well. So that means that the parents...
They took everything off us in the 80s. E-numbers, beer in Belgian schools. It's outrageous.
But look what the effect of that kind of like light boozy culture, it gave the golden generation. You're talking Hazard, Lukaku, De Bruyne,
yes,
Vincent Kompany, all came from sozzled parents.
Yes. And never quite achieved.
They never quite achieved
because they took the beer
because they were pissed. Yeah.
Because they didn't get the beer. Their parents had it.
Stopped serving it in
schools.
Wow.
1956, French schools banned serving alcohol to children under 14.
Wow. See, and people in this country got shitty when Margaret Thatcher stole their milk. Imagine that.
You wouldn't have been old enough for that, would you? I remember having milk.
But I hear tell of it. It's so interesting.
I can remember my infant school, Epping Infant School. And I can remember sitting down. I didn't really like milk. But you felt like you should have it just because there was something there to drink. Put some bubbles in it and I would have been all over it.
Well, here's an interesting one. Have you ever had cream soda?
Yes.
And you like it?
I love cream soda. It's got bubbles in. And also, I love ice in a drink. And so when you put cider over ice, because I wouldn't have drunk cider before. I mean, you're from that part of the world,
It's funny though, isn't it? But it definitely got revolutionised.
When that happened.
When it suddenly, there was a huge surge in it and it made it okay.
My son Jack, doesn't really drink beer. He loves cider. Cider's his thing.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? It's kind of there's a whole. But see, the cider from where I'm from it isn't that kind of over ice. It's kind of, I've spoken about this before, but there's a famous drink there's a pub called Tucker's Grave, and it's called Black Rat, and it's sort of syrupy and like it's kind of it's not particularly fizzy, but it's a little bit of fizz, it's kind of heavy. Thick,
yes, okay. So I've got family down in Cornwall. And they have a lot of heavy cider down there, so like Rattler and Cripplecock.
Yeah.
Which I remember sort of having half of one of those. But my son's now at university in Bristol.
Oh, right, great.
So the Corrie Tap,
yeah,
famously.
There you go, of course.
Where you do 10 before 10. Or is it 10 before 10? And it's half, but they only serve you half pints of the cider that they brew.
Yeah.
And his big thing is he keeps saying, come on, Dad, you've got to come down and try and do the 10 before 10.
You should. It's a great city to be in as well.
I love Bristol. That's where we filmed Tipping Point for many years. I fell in love with it. It's a fantastic city. But the idea of something like that, I mean, you're not going to get that in Europe, are you?
No, well, that again, it's... But it's...
I do the 10 before the 10.
But it's also... But it says a lot about our culture that it's not enough.
Yes.
He basically can't say, "Hey, Dad, come and visit your son." He's basically saying, "Come on, Dad, there's drink here," and you're like, "Okay, maybe I will for the alcohol."
Yeah, come down and see me do this. Come down and see me. 10 before 10. I'm there.
Yeah,
when?
I'm there.
What are we doing? I will come and enjoy your
a sensational fizzy start, and I bet you I'm not alone in thinking. I really fancy a pint right now.
Oh,
What is your next brilliant thing?
so my next brilliant thing is something that I am very conscious that I've only been introduced to because I work in telly. And I
Per
live.
DMs. It's a great word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I remember the first time I experienced this brilliant thing. I was working for Channel 4 and I was finishing at 2:30 and I needed to get to somewhere right near Tottenham Court Road by 2:45, like about the same sort of time. Now, could have jumped on the tube, would have been very happy jumping on the tube, but my producer at the time said, no, we've got a way of getting you there, knowing where you are, and we will get you there really, really quickly. And I said, you can't get me on the road really quickly. Oh, well, yeah, we can. How? We're going to get a limo bike. So what they sent was a motorbike, which essentially is a taxi.
Right.
So suddenly you have the ability to travel around cities. The limo bikes in London are just in London, and occasionally they'll go a bit further north if you need them to, and not get stuck in traffic. And once you've tried it once, you never ever want to go back in a car ever again.
Really?
Have you never been on one?
No.
You must have seen them around at TV studios and bits and pieces.
Yeah,
and...
but the idea of them terrify me.
So I got on the bike. I remember thinking, and I'd never been on a motorbike before, and I remember thinking, goodness me, this is quite an experience, but I'm up for trying something. And then there's a Scottish guy, one of the riders is called Kenny. And Kenny gets on the bike, he says, here you go, Ben. He puts his, and firstly, and then you can talk because you're connected by intercom. And there's a seat at the back has a backrest as well.
Yep.
And then you either hold on to the back of the seat or you hold on to the rider. They prefer you hold on the back of the seat, obviously.
Yeah.
But Kenny, so it's really confusing because Kenny is Chinese, but he's got a really strong Scottish accent. Still to this day, whenever I see Kenny, he's hilarious. And he does Elvis impressions as well. He's a Chinese Elvis Scotsman.
Yes.
Amazing. I can still envisage that first trip, driving through London and nipping through the traffic, going past the stacks of traffic, getting to the front of the lights, going ahead of the front, and turning up where I needed to get to, exactly the time I needed to get there, and just thinking that was like you feel exhilarated and excited. It's a great way of seeing the city, and now I just love it. And every morning I wake up and think, you get that thing, I've got to go to work, and think, oh, it's okay. I'm jumping on a limo bike.
Oh, what? So you get them every morning?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
So you live in London, presumably?
I live in Southwest London, yeah.
Right. So how long would your commute be, and how long is it?
It probably takes me, probably takes about 20, 25 minutes. I think if I was going in a car, it could take anywhere over 50 minutes, if not up to an hour, depending on the traffic. The only other alternative is to get the tube, which is eminently doable, or to run. I think running would be quicker than getting a car these days, or getting on a bicycle and being able to avoid some of the roads and go on bike lanes and bits and pieces like that.
Yeah.
But it is one of those things where sort of you introduce the odd person to it. Like I took my mum for her 60th. We put her on a motorbike.
Wow.
For her 60th birthday to go to the party. It was just hilarious.
To go to where?
To go to a birthday party.
Right.
So we met somewhere. Oh, I think we'd done something on telly together.
Yeah.
And then we were meeting everybody for lunch in town, and I'd organised for her to get on a limo bike, and I got on the other limo bike. Great. and we went like chips, like the California Highway Patrol, and it was brilliant. They took us around all the landmarks and bits and pieces.
Oh, great.
And she was very excited because there was a man nestled between her legs, and she could enjoy the sights and be distracted by this bulk of it wasn't Kenny, it was one of the others. It might have been Kerry, or it might have been Reese, but I've got to know them all now, and they do a brilliant job, and I just love it. I just absolutely love it.
So it's just is it the feeling of cheating the system?
Bit of cheating the system, bit of freedom. It feels a little bit like freedom, knowing that you're not stuck in traffic. I mean, no one likes being stuck in traffic, and we found a solution to that. I would rather get out, and I have done this in the past. I'd rather get out of a taxi and walk, than sit in a taxi and just sit there and not go anywhere. I drive my wife mad. Because if we are ever stuck in traffic, I'm like, right, see if there's another route. I'd rather keep moving than sit still, where she'll go, no, we'll just stay here. We'll still get there at the same time.
Yes.
So, but how do you know? How do you know?
I agree.
She said, I know. She would rather not make a left-hand turn and stick in the traffic jam and get there 15 minutes late or later than actually try and find an alternative route.
It's immovable, though. It's like travel and marriage. It's just like my wife famously in our household said, "What? Just relax. The plane's not going to take off without us. It fucking will." That's literally
Oh
what
my
they
days.
do. It's what they actually do.
They will do that.
The plane won't take off without us.
And they would
You-
like, they would
Crazy.
like to make a point. Why is it that? Because Annie gets like this. Because she always goes, "Oh, we're going to get on a plane. I know what you're going to get like. You're going to get really tense. You're going to have to hold everyone's passports,
Yeah.
and you're going to be marching us everywhere." And I'm like, "Look, here's the thing. I'll get to the gate, and you lot can swan around and do whatever you like. But I just need to get there. I just need to get there to know that I'm there. Because I've missed planes in the past.
Yeah.
Not by choice, but because we've got stuck or we've been late or something's gone wrong. And there's nothing worse." She's like, "No, why'd you have to get like this?"
Well, it's an interesting debate. Like, are you a get to an airport early guy, or are you a get to an airport late?
I wouldn't say I'd rather get these days. I'd rather get there early.
Yeah.
Because I'd rather have time just to chill out and not be in a rush.
Because then the holiday gets to start. Because as soon as you're there,
You got time.
you can have a fizzy drink, you can relax.
Have
It
a
just-
fizzy drink
Yeah.
with some ice and just enjoy life. Win. We only have so much time, mate. It's the most precious commodity we've got. So if I can find a way, and I'm very lucky to be able to use them, I absolutely appreciate that. But if I can find a way of minimising the time I have to have commuting to get to where I need to be, to do the job that I want to do, to spend time making memories and experiencing stuff, then and it's enjoyable and fun and exhilarating, then what's not to love?
And presumably as well, when you were doing like early morning kind of news, that must have been a game changer because it means you're quite literally getting half an hour more sleep.
So when I used to get up doing the breakfast show, there was no traffic, so it was fine.
Oh,
So you get a car at 3:30 in the morning. There's no issues.
Right.
But coming home, when you're coming home and you know you're going to get home and get back to sleep or get back to bed or go and do something else, then it is a game changer. It actually is now as well. It gives me more time in the morning now because if I had to get a car, I'd have to leave significantly earlier. So it means that you get a bit more sleep.
And what time would you get back when you were doing this?
Well, it would depend, but we come off air about 9 o'clock. So, and if we've not got anything on, then you'd sort of imagine I'd probably get home about 10:30.
Wow.
Which was brilliant, which was amazing when the boys were little.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you about. That must have been a very interesting because you've essentially done all of your work and it's still the morning.
Yeah.
So you get to have a proper close relationship with them.
Get to see. I was very lucky, and I could watch them play all their matches. I'd usually be home to be able to play some matches, and we do other stuff. And I'd be filming the quiz show, or I'd be filming whatever it was, which would take me away, and then sort of the schedule gets heavier. But if it was just the normal sort of week where I was just doing the breakfast show, then fantastic. And I'd be home, and I could do other stuff, and then I could go and see them. You miss drop off. Taking the kids to school was absolutely joy, especially when they were little and they actually wanted to talk to me. These days they're not remotely interested. Actually, they've done school now, but being able to be at their matches, which was something I absolutely loved.
And so what time do you get up now?
Oh, normal time now, 6:30.
So that must feel like...
Every day it's like a 3-hour line.
Yeah, it must be.
Every day.
It must be so weird.
It's another one of those things. Like I wake up now. I was talking about this with someone. I've started. Have I started purposely? Yeah, maybe I've started purposely with a gratitude list in the morning.
Right.
So I wake up and I want to get my the way I think about the world in a very positive. And I tend to be quite a positive person.
Yeah.
My wife might disagree, but I tend to be quite a positive person about most things. And so the first thing I think up every morning, even if I've had not much sleep or whatever, I've still had 3 hours more than I would have had. Was I still working for Good Morning Britain? And then I think I'm going to have a cup of coffee in a minute, and that's going to be delicious. And then I think I'm going to jump on the back of a limo bike, and I'm going to be flying through town, and I'm going to be at work in no time at all. Things could be worse.
Yeah.
So it just, I think really, it was one of Mel Robbins, or it was somebody who came on the show, or it might even be my friend Ivan, who said, just start in the morning, reframe those first few moments when you wake up. So you're not, oh God, I've got to do this. Oh God, I've woken up. Oh, that alarm really painful. Just wake up and find the thing that's going to make you excited about the day. Like, is it how soft your duvet feels? Oh, our bed's so warm. Isn't that amazing? Is it that you know you're going to jump in the shower? Is it that there's something, like, find that thing and focus on that thing that feels really exciting, something you're really grateful for. It doesn't take long before you start waking up feeling a lot more positive about the day ahead.
Oh, I love that. What is your next brilliant thing?
Oh, my next brilliant thing, I'm actually wearing. It's a bit of a hybrid.
Okay.
I have, and I don't know whether this is a reflection of my age, as we've already established, Russell. I'm very old. Not as old as you think I am.
No, and I was
because I wasn't around when they were smoking on television.
Well, I
on
saw
television.
you on the front cover of Men's Health
Oh
magazine.
yes, yeah.
So I believe you're 50.
I am 50.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very nearly 51.
And look, you look good on it.
Thank you very much.
Now, here's a question to you: were you at your absolute peak for the photo shoot, and weeks afterwards were you less impressive?
I don't think I was at my
Really?
absolute peak. No,
Wow.
because we did the photo shoot. I think my birthday was December, and I really got in great shape for my birthday and around then, because that was my challenge for myself that I set on social media, on Instagram. Going to get fit at 50. Can I become the fittest I've ever been? And that the metrics for that, the easy metrics for that is my weight, my body fat, and all those sorts of things. But actually, the metrics I think that are much more important is my health and well-being. So my mental state, my enthusiasm for life, my energy.
Do you feel like you've got that?
I absolutely, yes, no question. By the time I got there, I felt fantastic, but I felt really energized by the process that I'd been through. Like that. And we did the photo shoot for Men's Health, which was amazing, because as a teenager, I grew up loving Men's Health. Front cover of Men's Health was like a bit of a Bible. Those iconic shots of really fit, strong, athletic, healthy people on the front cover. And then the opportunity to do the shoot was brilliant, because it was a really, really good way of capping what had been an amazing challenge. The photograph is fantastic, right? And it's fantastic for lots of reasons. Fantastic for my PT, Steve Coleman, who helped me get in that shape. Fantastic for the other people that I've trained with. It's fantastic for me.
Fantastic for your wife.
Yeah, she's not as bothered, to be honest.
But for the kids as well.
The boys are are inspired, but they get sick of their mates sending it to them, going, "Hold on, how come you don't look like your old man?"
Yeah.
But yeah, my eldest particularly, he really loves training and is really inspired by it, and I love training with him. It's a fantastic thing. But to be able to have done that for the photo shoot was great. There was a bit of pressure. I was probably just about single figures body fat by the time we did that photograph. Holding on to that isn't as easy as you'd like it to be. So my body fat has definitely increased a bit more. I'm probably drinking a little bit more than I was. Not enormously. I'd sort of got to an age where I've probably cut down significantly compared to a few years back, just because of lifestyle changes and what I want to do. But I've managed to maintain sort of the approach to it. It is really, really sustainable. The key to all of it, whatever challenge you set yourself, is being accountable. The key to everything is waking up in the morning thinking, right, what am I going to do today to make sure I'm a bit better than yesterday, or I'm going to maintain what I've done already. Because so many people come up with these brilliant ideas. I'm going to get fit. I'm going to give up alcohol. I'm going to stop smoking. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I want to take up a hobby. And we talk about it and you sort of talk all around it and you think, yeah, I'm going to do it. And you never actually get to it. And then if you can just start, motivation comes from action, right? So you just need a bit of action to get you going, and then just stay accountable. And I held myself accountable. I mean, obviously, I set it up online, and there was a reason for me to hold myself accountable there, because I told people, right, this is what I'm going to do, because I wanted to push myself. I didn't want to give myself the out. And if you don't give yourself the out, I find, like, I don't know about you, and I love training. I love being fit. I love going for runs, but I will prevaricate all day long. I will put tons of things in the way rather than just put my trainers on and go out the door. And I know within 2 steps, I'll be glad I've done it. By the time I get home, I'll be full of endorphins and be thrilled that I've done it. But the amount of things you put in the way to stop you doing that thing you know is going to make you feel amazing is just such a strange
There's a great book
dilemma.
called Atomic Habits by, I forget the name of the guy that wrote it, but specifically he talks about a thing called priming as regards that, where you basically, if you left your trainers and your shorts and your top near your desk, if you work at home, your brain kind of subconsciously looks over and you go, I should really do that. And it kind of like helps. It's really interesting, but like having those little tips and techniques and hacks as to how you stop that voice that says, do we have to?
Yeah.
It's quite important.
What
What were you going to say? I feel like I jumped on it because you said you're wearing it.
I am.
I can't believe you're wearing Men's Health magazine.
I am wearing Men's Health magazine because everybody needs to know at every stage exactly how ripped I am. No, it's the cardigan.
Oh, I see.
It's the cardigan.
It's very nice.
Thank you. I feel like this is a bit of a hybrid, to be honest. This could be like a shirty type cardigan. This is my England cardigan as well, because England's rugby team. I know I think my wife bought this for me, but I have fallen in love with a cardigan as a item of clothing that.
What is it about a cardi?
And I would never have worn one as a kid. I would never have worn one as a teenager, in my 20s and my 30s. And I don't think it's an age thing now. I just think they are such a brilliant, versatile bit of clothing that can either be indoors or outdoors. It's certainly less stiff than a jacket or a blazer.
Yeah.
It's more approachable. It's more cuddly.
It's more approachable.
It's more approachable.
I love that.
It's more cuddly, and some might say more stylish.
Okay.
Preach.
Thank you.
Well,
There you
yeah,
go.
I think,
can tell.
yeah. I mean,
As a man of sartorial arrogance in the
Yeah,
corner,
exactly.
who wearing a cord waistcoat combo,
yes.
with some
love
nice
that.
brogues as well. Love that.
Yeah.
You know, and old
And,
t-shirt trainers.
Yeah, it's a funny one.
You're
though.
going to get to it.
Well, but do you know the problem with it is I find it very difficult to
Carry
Right.
one off. I know not everyone can. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, but also you don't look like you've been dressed. Now you might have been dressed, but you don't look like you've been dressed. And it feels in my kind of world, it doesn't quite ring true. If you're on stage and you're suddenly wearing clothes, I feel like the crowd are going, someone's dressed you in that.
That's because you haven't found the right one yet.
That may very well be the case.
That is
It's
exactly
a bit like
what it
wands,
is.
isn't it? You've got to find.
Yeah, you've got to find the wand that was made for you. And
Yes.
once you get your entry, once you get your gateway cardigan, you will not turn back. Because I bet you wear like a zip up sort of sporting top of some sort.
Yeah.
Take the zip away, add a button.
Yeah.
It's a cardigan.
It's not a million miles away. You're right.
Do you know what I mean? And you just need to. It's a bit like waking up and feeling grateful. You've got to reframe your thinking on this, Russell. I bet your son has cardigans,
Yes, he does. He also has dungarees.
and I bet.
Yeah, I'm not wearing dungarees.
You say that now. You say that now.
Do you know the
You're
only person
from the
I
West
know,
Country.
the-
You can get
that
away
is
with a
true.
dungaree.
The only person I know that can wear dungarees and get away with it is Joe Marler.
Yes, he
'Cause
can.
I think he wore it on the Traitors.
He did, yeah.
and it
The lead
was-
singer of Dexy's Midnight Runners as well.
That's
He had
right.
a
But
great dungaree.
you've got to have a certain look.
Swagger.
Yeah, but it's kind of
I had a dungaree phase at university.
yeah, well that's fine, eh? Well, like that the clothes I've worn are always the clothes I want to wear.
I wouldn't. Similarly to you though, I have a sort of a. I know
What
what
do you
mean.
wear during the day?
I know what you mean. Well, I wear cardigans now because I just love them. But I know
But
what
you
you
were
mean.
short. I imagine you're a shorts guy as well. Shorts and socks and a cardigan. I don't imagine you're wearing trousers around the house.
No. Trousers in the house.
Well, I only wear shorts at home, so like all day. And my tour manager Kumar's the same. He has a specific
How
pair
warm
of.
is your house?
It's pretty warm. Yeah, I know. I need to get it down. But because we've got a 50-month-old son, so we've got to keep it nice and toasty.
Don't blame your son. He'll be absolutely fine.
What I was trying to say is there will obviously come a time where you have to dress more appropriately, and I'm kind of aware that I dress in the same way I did when I'm 20, and I'm not 20, and it's that thing of, you know, when you have to dress in a slightly more adult way, but you don't want to go, I am now dressed as an adult. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, what I'm saying, you're dressed in a really good smart casual.
appropriately.
Yeah, but it's not like neat, but it is neat.
That's quite an. Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? I don't think I dress appropriately, as a rule. I think and here's the thing I think about. This is the thing that you're sort of unfortunately casting aspersions on a cardigan not being an older garment. I just don't think it is these days. I think I see quite a lot of young lads and girls wearing cardigans, like big sloppy cardigans. Famously, you'll remember Kurt Cobain famously
Yes.
performed in that massive chunky knit with the
Yeah,
things.
yeah.
One of the greatest rock stars of all time.
Yeah, well, that was in
the 90s grunge. There were cardigans everywhere, weren't
That's
there?
a really good point, actually. Like that, the green one that he wore for the MTV Unplugged.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
But I could.
Pharrell Williams.
Pharrell,
Would wear,
he's a cardigan.
he would wear
fan.
cardigans a
Okay.
lot.
Well, maybe
Mrs.
so.
Doubtfire.
Mrs.
The
Doubtfire.
list is endless.
Yes, all of your heroes.
Yeah.
I
and
think you need to embrace an
I
opportunity
will.
with a cardi.
Okay. Well, it
Just
sounds.
try a few
I will.
and don't prejudge. Just let them sit.
Yeah.
I mean, this.
Well, I
this
like
is
that.
quite-
That's
this
nice
is-
and fitted.
This is quite a fitted one.
Yeah.
And I have a few that are much more slobby, which feels like it would work with some of what you're like. You like to wear slouchy stuff at home.
Yes.
A nice soft cashmere slobby
Okay.
cardigan.
But when you're doing the telly,
Why don't you try this on?
but presumably there's a lot of pressure for you to. I'll try on. Presumably there's a lot of pressure
This is
for
going to
you
change your life.
to wear different clothes every day.
Yes.
So, and do they kind of dress you?
We have a stylist, yeah. We've got a wardrobe team.
Mad.
We have a stylist and a wardrobe
But
team.
that's the big thing that I miss from doing my show. That I would have all these new clothes.
Oh, I see.
t-shirts.
Yeah. So you'd
And
actually have
suddenly
gear that...
suddenly they're
so then-
gone. So now I have to buy clothes for the first time. Oh, it is nice actually, and it smells good. I'm living many a housewife's fantasy here, dressing in Ben's. This feels like if
I think I'm going to have to style this.
tell you, it smells good though,
See,
man.
it's slightly different this though, because the collar sort of is it's a bit of a hybrid. This is what I was saying. So the collar sort of sits up a little bit.
Well, I'll tell you
And
what.
it fits you nicely as well, because I think it's a little bit small on me, that one, but it was the last one they had in the size at the shop.
Feels good though.
I mean, for the listeners, it sits on the shoulders really well.
Yeah, I like it.
And it's like, I like the collar look. Yeah. Now.
Very
I'm
nice.
not messing around. Hold on, I'm gonna have to take a picture and take
do.
a picture so you can see it, because you're not getting the full effect of this. That feels like the sort of thing that you get away with.
Yeah, it's all right, man.
I mean, this could be your gateway cardigan.
What's your next brilliant thing?
Oh, well, we sort of touched on this, but the next absolute brilliant thing that my life does not exist without, and I find joy in every last morsel, whatever it may be, wherever it's happened, whatever the outcome, is the importance of sport to me. And I think that of the brilliant things that I've introduced, this is a non-negotiable for people all over the world, because it's not unique to me, of course, and my passion for it. And like Bubbles I might be the only person that thinks they are one of the most 5 brilliant things.
Michael Jackson.
Yep.
Yes, he was a fan of
yeah.
Bubbles as well, yeah.
Exactly.
But
You didn't see a goddamn thing.
but sport.
Yeah.
The need for sport, a love of sport. What happened last night in the Scotland qualifier, I'm not Scottish, I have friends that are Scottish, I was in tears watching that this morning. Rugby, football, and then more so, my love of playing sport and participating. It's been so key to my life. I was probably what would be classed as ADHD as a kid, undoubtedly. Back then I was just naughty and couldn't sit still. But sport was the way of me venting some of the energy I had. I couldn't do enough. I couldn't play enough. If someone came around and said, you're going to come play football, I'd play football, tennis, cricket, golf, swimming, anything you wanted to do, table tennis, like even if I had no idea how to do it. Yeah, I'm up for that. I'll come and do that.
Yeah.
And more so now I'm in my 50s and I can't compete playing rugby and football so much anymore because of various injuries and my body not being able to keep up with it. Golf has become
That's the new one.
it is the obsession that drives so much of my. If you were looking at the algorithm on my social media, is essentially how am I going to get even vaguely respectable at golf?
It's that noise as well. Like when you hit it right. I mean, it's
Magic.
It is a hell of an. I've not played golf. I think the interesting thing
Whatever.
is, I played it once. Golf and football kind of go hand in hand.
Sure.
So if you're kind of half decent at footy, you sort of like normally have mates that play golf that are half good.
Yeah.
Because I was shit, I just felt like I was spoiling their day.
Right.
You know, so I think if I'd have played with people,
Your level.
yeah, it was just frustrating, and I was aware that I was holding everyone up, and I didn't know what to do. So I could whack it, fair enough. I had half decent sort of hand-eye coordination, but anything intricate, I was just like skittling it.
The thing that I love about it is that you can go somewhere and be in a room with people that you've never met before. And there is something that connects us all if you love sport.
Yes.
Because if they might like football, they might like golf, they might like rugby, they might like cricket, tennis, they might like athletics, they might like gymnastics. You find that thing, that commonality, and you've got something to talk about. Because if I go somewhere, I hate talking about my work. I don't want to talk about me. I've got no interest in that. I'm just curious about other people. So I want to find things that I can talk to them about that doesn't involve me talking about my work. And the thing that I found with golf particularly is you start talking to somebody who loves their golf. You can start talking about where they've played golf courses they recommend, great moments, great shots, and there is the stories that unfold around it. And the thing that's really, really great about golf is, now this is the thing that's a shame that you didn't stick at it with your mates, is that you can be a beginner golfer and you can be a professional, and you can actually play competitively against each other because of the handicap system.
Yes.
Right, that handicap system has been, and it can get taken advantage of at times, because you can be a bit of a bandit, so you can have a really high handicap if you don't put cards in, and you can win all those things. However, if you play it fairly, you do it. The handicap system levels that playing field in a way that no other sport can.
Yeah, that is true.
Like if I want to play, if I want to play tennis with somebody who's never played tennis before, I'm not great at tennis. I'm going to school them at tennis, and I'm rubbish at tennis. Equally, if one of my really good mates wants to play me, and I'm pretty average, I can't compete. Football, as a dad, you're going to be kicking the ball to your son slowly backwards and forwards for years and years before you're old enough to be able to compete. Literally from the minute, and I would urge you to take him down to the driving range when he's old enough, and you go as well, because I just, the joy in my boys' face, and I used to take them when they were really small, so 3 and 5, let's say, and they'd go, because usually you've got a little boy running around the house, you put it down, don't hit it, don't swing it, don't kick it, don't.
Yeah.
You go there and you give them what is essentially a metal lightsaber.
Yeah.
And you say, see that little white thing? Hit that as hard as you can. Just.
Yeah.
And they're like, what?
And what is it? And how many of these? Oh, there's 100.
There's loads.
Yeah.
Just don't worry about it.
Yeah.
What you're not going to take it off me? No. And I can hit it as hard as I can. Yeah. Don't hit it when someone's around you. Don't swing it and your little brother stood behind you. Just go for it. And that is how, as a family, we've the boys play great golf now. My youngest Jack is a beautiful golfer, could be really fantastic. And we get to play against each other. We have the big family golf tournament down in Cornwall at Christmas most years. And it's amazing because we'll have family members that have never played before coming. We give them a high handicap, ones that are pretty good down the other end. And we still end up having a competitive day with all together. And it's just sharing that sense of connection via this sport, I think.
But it's also, it's the tangibility of it all. That's the majesty of sport, that it's that there is a goal and there is a winner.
Yes.
And that there is, it's definite. It's not up to subjectivity. It's like, that was a goal, that was a try. It's not open to interpretation. No. That's what I think is the best thing about it. And it inadvertently teaches you really important lessons when you're a kid, of what it feels like to lose and to fail. And in a very loving world, it's quite nice to be told that's what that feels like.
Yeah.
So you can kind of get over it and like, I remember bawling my eyes out when the first time I lost a football game, and then you kind of get over it.
Yeah.
But if you don't have that feeling of what it feels like to lose, how can you possibly traverse life?
No, and I know, and you see all of that once your son's getting a bit bigger, and it's been joyous to watch, and to watch them struggle a little bit when they can't compete or they can't cope, to find their place. Like my eldest Sam's has always been really, really big. He's 6'3", I think, something like that now. But he was always a really big kid, and he wasn't particularly coordinated, so never really got into football, never really got into rugby, even though he would have been brilliant, because he felt like he was under a bit of pressure. He's found lacrosse at university.
Oh, yeah.
Via mixed lacrosse. Like, no one in our family's ever played lacrosse before. So via the mixed lacrosse team, which I think essentially was a way of meeting girls initially.
I was going to say, clever.
So he's found lacrosse and loves it.
And that's the when you've
the
got a
stick
little
with the net on the
net.
end. Yeah. And so hand-eye coordination, like you've got to catch the ball out of the air and stuff. But he's a big, strong, fit kid. He can run around, and it's just been amazing to watch him finally find a sport
his thing,
that he can really compete in. Really feels a part of the team, knows his role, is getting better at. And deals with sort of the bad games, the good games, the losses, the fun. He's social secretary, looking after the freshers and all those sorts of things. Watching him grow in that world, it didn't matter. It didn't matter this lacrosse. He just had to find his tribe, which were this team of lacrosse players. It's been amazing.
But it also, I think it just gives you that kind of this little side world against your main world, particularly when you're young. If you're at school, where if you're struggling at school, you've suddenly got right the weekend. I get the opportunity to be a Premier League footballer in my head. Yeah. And it's it's so funny, isn't it, how many memories that you will have with your mates where you can go, oh, do you remember the time that you scored that goal against Farnham or whatever?
Yeah. The thing that all our wives said, I'm still mates with all my schoolmates, they all hate is it takes us 5 minutes to start talking about football matches from when we were 11. Yeah. And then I think, God's sake, have you not talked about this enough? We went to the British Lions in the summer. I was working out there in Australia, and I took my mum and dad there, 1881. Annie came with the boys. My brother was out there with his wife. And we just created the most amazing memories all together. and we had a fantastic 2 weeks altogether, essentially, but all sort of anchored around these amazing moments that we shared collectively with all of those British and Irish Lions fans.
Wow.
From all over the UK and Ireland together, which happens every couple of years, but we don't usually, we're sort of best of enemies and we're competing against each other, but singing the Welsh songs and singing the Irish songs, singing the Scottish songs, even some of them singing English songs. It was just the most extraordinary experience, and that sort of communal sharing of emotion and excitement that comes from sport. I know people get it from other places, they get it from music, and they get it, and that can work for other people, but for me it has been such a massive emblem within my life and how important it is.
But I think an Australian sports team to galvanise people.
It's amazing what it brings together. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
But I think you've inadvertently stumbled across what sport is. Like when you're in a stadium, it is the same as music, but you don't know when the chorus is going to come along.
Yeah.
And then suddenly the goal is the chorus, and then you sing.
There you are.
So you're kind of watching it. You're watching the song. You never quite know when it's going to erupt.
Yeah. Yes,
that's
really
but that's kind of exactly what it is, isn't it? Where you're like, chorus!
Yeah.
It's all yellow! You know, it's so strange.
I know.
Yeah, man. So were you working for the...
Yes. So I was working with the Lions Rugby Travel. So there were some big corporate events that were happening for Lions fans in Brisbane, in Melbourne and in Sydney. I think there was 7,000 people in Brisbane, 8,000 in Sydney, and 8,000 in Melbourne, 9,000 in Sydney. Just massive events pre-game for the Lions fans to come along, be together. We had the Welsh Malvoice Choir singing. We had a rock band playing. We had.
So were you like hosting those?
Yeah.
Oh my god!
I know.
What a job!
I know.
So you've got to host that. Then you watch the game.
Yeah.
Oh my god! The whole family are there.
The whole family are there.
Jesus, that is the dream. What is your final brilliant thing?
Now my final brilliant thing. I'm not sure you're aware of this.
I am aware of it. I know what you're going to say.
Joel Dommett and myself have launched a podcast.
Yes.
And within this podcast, the plan of the podcast is we are launching a skincare brand.
See, the reason I love this is because of all the things you didn't expect.
So,
just when you think the world has surprised you too many times, this happens. Yeah.
So there's a couple of things today. Firstly, you can carry off a cardigan. And secondly, we're going to sort out your skin. What is your skincare regime currently, Russell?
Well, it's not. I don't really have one, so I don't really kind of. Yeah, I remember Gary Barlow said that he hadn't washed his hair, so I don't really wash my hair.
Because Gary doesn't.
Not because, but it makes me feel less bad. I just kind of. I think when I wash my hair, it looks very straw-like, and so I just keep it kind of sort of dirty, and then it looks better.
There's products you can get that will help you clean it and keep it looking cool.
Yeah, but then that adds sort of time. So I'm not really. I kind of go through sort of phases. So I'll kind of, take cod liver oil and vitamin D, and that's meant to be good for you. But I don't really have anything that I'd put on.
Well, so I think one of the things that Joel and I, particularly, like Joel's 40 and I'm 50, and he's got Wild, and they've obviously got another baby on the way, and Sam and Jack are 20 and 18. Mm-hmm. And we have both, and I certainly have, through my career, benefited from amazing skincare experts, dermatologists, makeup experts that have drilled into me the importance of looking after my skin. And actually, along the way, I've discovered certain products that I think have made an immeasurable difference to how I look and, more importantly, how I feel in a way that I would never have found had I not ended up in this world. Now, I'm turning 50 and I see my two boys who are in their teenagers, and they and their friends are so much more open about looking after themselves.
It's funny, isn't it? Yeah.
In a way that we would never have been it, because the idea of being there's this sense that that's vanity, and vanity is bad. You couldn't look after your hair when you were in the 80s and the 90s. You couldn't look after your skin because that was bad. Now, I don't think it is vanity. I think self-care is hugely important to who we are and our mental well-being, not only our physical well-being, but our mental well-being as well. That's something I've come to learn. And then we were talking about it, Joel and I were talking about it, and he really looks after himself, and he steals all Hannah's potions and lotions. And we were like, if we could create a skincare brand that would appeal to our peers and our friends, older and younger, that is simple, clear, effective and efficient. Because one of the things I think a lot of us feel, men, is we just don't like faff and fuss. So it's got to be really quick, it's got to be really easy, and it's got to work. there are some really great brands out there. We're not saying they're not getting it right, but we just feel like there's an opportunity for us to create something that would appeal to us, and it's going to be fun as well, right? So the product that I bought as literally one of my 5 most brilliant things in the world was something that I discovered because I had a makeup artist who was having to put tons of makeup on me just to try and warm me up because I looked very pale. And so she introduced me to tinted moisturiser, of which I still use to this day. We all are much more conscious of the need for SPF now, right? And putting sun cream on, that might be the one thing that most men, or not all, but the majority of men will make a concession towards SPF. But I promise you, if you put a bit of moisturiser on that's got some colour in it of some sort, then it will absolutely transform the way you look at yourself in the morning. And when you look in the mirror and think, oh, I don't look so bad, that lifts your entire spirit and you can go about your day with a bit more of a positivity and you're not worrying about that part of your life.
What happens in the podcast? Take me through it.
So the podcast is called The Businessmen. Essentially, it is a podcast that has started with Joel and I coming up with this idea, and we are working through from what is the kernel of the idea of building a skincare brand to actually creating a skincare brand, everything that's involved in the name, the investment, the marketing, the products, the product development, the product launch. And if it all goes to plan, come September 2026, we will be bringing things to market. So the podcast is charting our journey,
right,
as businessmen.
So do you every week? Are you interviewing people along the process?
Yeah.
Or are you okay? Fine.
Yeah. So
I wasn't sure whether it was you kind of.
No. So it's us talking about where we are with the business.
Right.
So for example,
what's he like as a businessman?
Awful.
Yeah, I was going to say. I feel like you'd be leading that charge.
Yeah. He keeps telling me that as well. But he's thoroughly entertaining. No. But I think both of us, to be fair, like the brilliant thing about Joel, and I'm sure you know Joel well, is he approaches everything in life with an enthusiasm and boundless energy. He wants to learn. He's really keen. He's really passionate about this because he wants to be able to create something that he would use and he would love. And he has got some incredible potions and lotions, mostly that he nicks off his wife. So the essence of the podcast is us going on this journey, interviewing people who've set up their own businesses. So Deborah Meaden's coming on, Matt Edmondson, who's got a board game business, who's Radio 1 broadcaster and TV head. He's got an incredibly successful board game business called Format Games.
Wow.
Makes amazing businesses, amazing games. Finance people coming in saying, look, this is what you've got to think about when you're setting up a business. Because quite a lot of your friends, I'm sure, and people that are listening to this will have a side hustle of some sort, and they'll sort of go, how would I turn this great idea I've got, into a business that could hold its own and actually maybe change the course of my career or whatever. So the pathway of the businessmen is to do that, to bring in experts, and for us to learn our trade, really.
And presumably also then people get to learn through you learning.
Yes, exactly that.
Gotcha.
Exactly that. And then we're creating a community. So what we want to try and do is we're trying to launch the biggest ever male skincare survey that's ever been done. So we're trying to get men to join our community and answer questions about their skin, what they do to look after their skin, what products they use, what they don't do, what they think's missing, what would change that. And then we will collate the information that we've got from this community, and that will and we will use them, we'll keep them involved. We'll use them to come up with the product ideas, the name of the brand, the packaging. Everything will be done with this community. So by the time, hopefully, it comes to life and it is eventually on the shelves, which touch wood will be September 2026, it will have been done with a lot of people who have helped us on that journey. So they will become advocates for it, and they will go, oh, wow, that's Ben and Joel's skincare brand. When I had a hand in this, I'm going to try that. I'm going to give it a go.
We'll put a link to it in the notes to this podcast.
Amazing.
So people can go straight
to it.
Oh,
that's a good idea. Yeah.
It only takes 4 minutes, something like that.
Yeah.
How did this all come about then? How did you and Joel, are you presumably through ITV?
We're mates through, we're mates. We've met each other through telly and bits and pieces, and we've been talking about doing something together for quite a while. And sort of along the way, we were sort of throwing around certain ideas. And
what were some of the ideas that didn't make it? Come on, that's what we want to hear.
But I mean, I think the things that because actually Nish was working with Andy on the day we recorded our first podcast, And Nish and Joel are great mates, of course. And Nish came in and we said, we want to pitch this idea, we want to tell you what we're doing. And obviously he thought it was just hilarious. And he said, if you were going to do something in sport, if you're going to do something in protein, if you're going to do something in supplements, then that would make more sense. So they're all ideas that we threw around. But I think both of us felt the stage of we are at our lives, and also being parents to boys, that actually creating something that they could use, that we know, because men, a vast majority of men, I think there's some ridiculous statistic, and I'm going to get this slightly wrong, but 70 or 80% of male skincare is bought by women. So partners, wives, girlfriends, sisters, aunties, whatever it is, tend to buy male skincare for their partners. We are just a bit useless at actually taking that right. But if we invest a little bit now and look after ourselves, I mean, I'm turning 50 and I'm thinking I want to be able to look after myself for as long as I possibly can. My mum and dad were with us in the Lions at 1881 in the summer, matching a step for step, beer for beer. Just, it was amazing. I want to be able to do that with the boys and hopefully their families for as long as possible. But you've got to make the investment now. So if we start looking after ourselves and understand the importance of that, then hopefully we will reap the benefits. But of course, it's a long game with these things. But it can't be complicated, because we are bewildered. The thing that annoys me most is if I'm in the shower and I go to pick up what I think's the shampoo, it'll be my wife's and it's in French. Right? It's not that I can speak French, I can read French, but not without my glasses on. And then I'm like, I just want it to say shampoo. I just want to know what it is. I don't need to sort of go right and then go through what is this? How do I use it? What's this actually going to do to me? It just needs to be simple, unfussy, clear, efficient, and effective. And have a bit of fun with it as well.
They should do that with aftershave ads as well. But like, it should just be a normal aftershave ad instead of like Johnny Depp holding a wolf and he's kind of like, tomorrow was yesterday or something like that. It should just be like, yeah, that's all right. That
It smells good.
Yeah,
Smells
I
good.
reckon I could pull in that.
Yeah.
It's just that simple.
That's the money. And in fact, I was with Kammy the other day. We were talking about when he came on your stand-up show.
Phenomenal.
And we were looking at it.
It's so funny, man.
What did he say? Oh, he said, I've got a new aftershave. Breadcrumbs. The birds love it.
Yeah.
And we just watched his set that he did back. Wasn't that incredible?
Yeah.
How many years ago was that?
Gosh, I think that
Like 15 years ago?
I think it was. And do you know the really interesting thing is that Joe Wilkinson, it was the first time he'd ever done stand-up on TV, and he had to follow Chris Kamara doing stand-up for the first time on TV ever as well, because I think it was to do with something for, I think it was
Yes, Kammy do it with Soccer AM.
Soccer AM.
Yeah,
and
they challenged him to do some stand-up.
They challenged him to do stand-up, and for
You're
whatever
right,
reason
yes.
he came down here and he did it, and it was brilliant. But yeah, what a human being he is, Jesus! Like, but again, it's that thing. He's what is it about Chris Kamara that it's authenticity. It's just that he's able to just be himself. Yeah. But that clip summed him up so well. Was there a goal? Was there? I didn't see it.
Don't
Jeff.
know, Jeff.
Yeah, but it's so
honest.
Yes,
who he is.
Yeah,
that's his authenticity. I've learned so much from Kammy about, like, you take your job seriously, but you don't take yourself seriously. Just be who you are and trust that. And it's been an incredible adventure working alongside him and learning
how long
from
have you
him.
two been working
We started working together in 2010, so just after the World Cup in South Africa. And so we're just about to go on tour.
Are you?
Yeah. We're going to do some evenings with Kammy and Ben and Cammy's unbelievable show.
Oh, great.
So it'll be a series of dates around the country, starting in his hometown of Middlesbrough, London, down on the south coast, and one somewhere in the centre of the country. I'm sure.
And have you?
We'll know where they are by the time this comes out.
Where can we get tickets for that?
That'll be via the link, which will be on my bio somewhere.
We'll put link in the show notes to this show.
Great.
Link in the show notes. But we're going on tour together, so we're going to do a show together, which will all be about both of our lives, our experiences, some of his iconic moments, the stuff we've done together, and some of the crazy things that have happened to me as well.
And is that the first time that you've done a tour?
Yeah.
That's interesting. Yeah. Very exciting.
Really, really exciting. Quite scary as well, just because, we want to do it well. And I mean, I'm no stranger to sort of coming out on a stage and performing, but I'm usually, or posting things, but I'm usually feeding to somebody else. Or I'm usually introducing something, or I'm usually interviewing somebody. But it's me and Kammy sort of doing this show, which will have, great clips, great moments, sort of great outtakes of both of us being together. And if I can persuade him, maybe some songs.
God, that sounds great, man.
Yeah.
Do you know, on that note, talking about like a strange situation to find yourself in, I went to watch the Kenny Dalglish premiere.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, it was unbelievable. But Kelly Cates was hosting it, which, like, as far as gigs go, that's got to be one of the strangest.
Yeah.
So she was hosting the whole show, and then had to briefly talk to her dad.
Did she interview him?
Yeah, who had just been, part of his film, and then it was, it was really special. Have you seen that
No,
documentary?
I have seen the documentary. Yeah, because it's on
Amazon.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen it, people at home, it's a properly good.
Yeah, you don't
watch.
just have to be a Liverpool fan.
No, you don't.
To love it.
Yeah, it's
No,
great.
It's extraordinary.
I really enjoyed that. It was absolutely fascinating, ladies and gentlemen. The brilliant Ben Shephard.